That boy is Benny Hanna.
I'm the champ, I'm the champ.
Yeah.
I'm the champ, I'm a champion.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm the champ, I'm the champ.
Yeah.
I'm the champ, I'm the champion.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm the champ, I'm the champ.
What's good, YouTube? It's your boy JR, and today I just wanted to come out with a video just talking about the new map that is supposed to be released on Xbox by the end of the summer, called Sanhok. Now, a lot of you probably have already saw gameplay from players that play this on PC, but just in case you haven't, this is a layout of the map from the developers when they first released the map on PC. And the link to that will be in the description. I just copied some of the highlights just to have footage of the actual map. The reason why I wanted to come out with this video for right now is I actually just seen a developer for Pubg Xbox say that the map for Xbox has actually been finished and that he played it, and he said it actually ran really smooth. So that's kind of a teaser, just stating that I do believe that this map is going to come to the test servers within the next few weeks or so. But as of right now, the new patch notes for the incoming update for August still does not include the test server within the update. So I believe we're going to be, I believe we're going to give it a maybe 2 to 4 weeks. Now, this isn't confirmed, just my guess, just based on that tweet. So I'm really hoping that the map is, finished and ready to go on the test server. That way we can actually start playing it. For those of you who may not know, the map is a lot smaller than the previous two maps, Miramar and Erangel. So this is definitely going to provide a much faster gameplay speed. Of course, the first two maps can be a little slow as far as seeing people and actually getting into gunfights because the map is so big, especially if you don't land in hot zones or hot spots. So this new map is really going to speed up the gameplay, so if you're like me, you're definitely excited for this to come to the Xbox version. So this video, I just really wanted to come out with some information regarding that. Now, other than that, nothing has really been confirmed as far as the release date goes, so I'm kind of just taking a guess of when it's actually going to come to the live server. So I definitely hope it's going to be within the next couple of weeks. They did say that it would be towards the end of summer, so that could actually fall all the way until September, but I'm really hoping that it's going to come to the test server in August, and hopefully we'll get the test server and then we'll be able to, it'll be moved to the live server by September, which should be a little bit faster than waiting to the end of summer. So I just really wanted to come out with some highlights from that, and again, I have put the description and the link of the Sanhok video in the YouTube channel if you wanted to see how the developers actually made it for PC. Again, I don't really have any footage of it for Xbox because of course it hasn't actually been released. But I just thought it was interesting seeing a tweet from an actual Pubg developer just stating that he played Sanhok on Xbox and that it actually ran really smooth. So that was just kind of a teaser. So for the rest of the video, I just have added in just some highlights from previous PUBG games with me and some of my homies that I play with. And then I just wanted to go over some of the patch notes that is incoming in the next patch for August. So the first thing that it's stating is, hello everyone, we are back with another community weekly post. This week we deployed a hotfix to add analog movement along other new features and fixes. So as you guys already know, the analog movement was added in the last patch. That just made the game more flexible as far as movement goes, because on PC, of course, you're going to be using buttons opposed to an actual stick as you would on a Xbox controller. So they added that into the game just to give us a more free movement, which was supposed to really help the overall gameplay and make it more smooth. And it's just saying that after the latest hotfix was deployed, we're made aware of issues with the new features that they will be addressing next week in a new hotfix. So this new hotfix again should be coming within next week or next week. It says thanks to everyone who sent in their feedback on these new issues. Read on for what we addressing in this new hotfix. So again, if you guys ever notice any type of glitches or errors, you can always send them that within footage or even a message. And that helps them to make the game run smoother within the patches, just getting feedback from the community. So a big thing that I've noticed is loading into matches have recently been really slow, especially for Xbox One and S players. It seems like the plane will be halfway across the map and then everyone will be still on a black screen. So I currently play on an Xbox One X. It really hasn't been a huge issue for me personally, just because I have that system, but I have noticed it with a lot of other players as well. It states that players have reported experiencing a number of issues while trying to load into matches. Some players have experienced very long wait times while getting into matches, with some even reporting that they would be kicked to the dashboard after waiting on the loading screen for a long time. Other players have had the lost connection to host messages pop up while loading into the game. In most of these cases, when players would reconnect back into the match, they would see their character already perishing down after being dropped out of the plane at the end of the flight path. These issues result in players not being able to see the in-game lobby, the match start countdown, or choose where to deploy over where the plane kicks them out. So I really hope that the new hotfixes are going to improve that for everyone, just because you want to be able to land over where the plane actually goes to, and not have to wait half the match or even be kicked out before you're able to jump and you just parachute at the very end of the plane landing after it kicks you out. It states that they're working to fix this by repacking the files that need to be loaded together closer to each other to better optimize loading times. We're conducting tests as we speak, and loading times have already significantly improved. So it looks like they have came up with a patch to fix that, so hopefully we'll be seeing that with the next hotfix as well. So the next patch notes talks about the analog movement. It states, while players like the new idea of the new analog movement, there are still some work to be done. With analog movement, sprinting diagonally using L stick became much more difficult. In addition, characters run at maximum speed when sprinting in a straight line, but when sprinting diagonally with the L stick, run speeds were only 80% of the maximum. The 80% window was much wider before the addition of analog movement, and used to be approximately 45 degrees on each side for 80% sprinting speed to work, making it easy to control. With analog movement, characters only have about 20 degrees on each side to reach the 80% speed. This is difficult to control as analog movement has a much wider range of degrees the player can run at, and if the character goes past the 20-degree angle, the speed would decrease even further. This has affected players who use the zigzag running method to dodge bullets and make it harder for enemies to pin them down. Running in a zigzag pattern is a core strategy for many, so we want to maintain its effectiveness. So I have noticed that whenever I'm actually being shot at, I do usually run in a zigzag just to try to make it harder for the enemy to hit me before I'm able to get behind cover. So I have noticed that sometimes my character isn't as responsive to doing so, and then I have noticed that the running speed is a lot slower when running in a zigzag. So hopefully they will get that fixed in the next patch as well. It states, we're increasing the angle for 80% speed to improve the feel of the analog movement and making the zigzag strategy easier to use again. One thing that will be different is that when you try and change the sprinting direction rapidly in a wide angle, your character will momentarily slow down, as doing so in real life would probably break your tendons. So they are trying to make the zigzag easier to where you can actually not get hit as frequently when running in a zigzag, but it's also going to be more realistic depending on what type of angle you choose. Other priorities within this patch was footsteps and vehicle sound not being able to be heard sometimes, and that seems to be a pretty frequent thing. I've noticed and seen enemies right behind me, got shot at right behind me, and not be able to hear footsteps, and I've also seen vehicles park and drive by but not be able to hear the sound as well. They're also working on desync and increasing frame rate across all Xbox versions, which I think will continue to be a top priority, especially whenever you first land. I noticed with this new patch, we kind of went back to where players are running through walls because the actual buildings are not loading. It hasn't happened a whole lot like it used to when the first game dropped, but I have noticed with the new patch it has kind of gotten worse again. So that's kind of frustrating when you land and you're shooting at someone and they're still able to run through a wall. And another issue is it says that they are working on with this hotfix is not being able to drive vehicles sometimes. I've not ran into that issue, but I guess it has been reported, so they are working on it. So last thing, thanks everyone for your feedback. We wouldn't be able to address these issues nearly as well without your reports. We appreciate your passion for the game, and with your help, we'll continue to improve the game every week. It says thanks, Pubg Xbox team. So one thing I really like about this game is the producers and developers do a really good job of actually providing content for this game and coming out with weekly updates. Now, I know a lot of people are so frustrated with how that game actually loads and works, but if you think about how bad it was in the first, when the game actually dropped to where it is now, it's definitely got a whole lot better. And they have added a new map, Miramar, and then new weapons as well. So, you know, for everything that they've done, I definitely think the game is worth what is actually paid for it. And I'm just really glad to see that they're still working on the issues, and they're actually bringing out the new map, Sanhok, within the next 4 weeks, hopefully. So I just really wanted to drop a video and give you guys some information on that. If you see this video, and if you could, leave me a comment, subscribe if you're new, and leave me a like. It would really help me out. Till next time, guys, peace.